This could be the World Championship of a major traditional sport. But it's not, because this is eSport, possibly the first major new sport to be invented in over a century. And whether you like it or not, competitive video gaming is sweeping the world. Shoreditch, London. Hip, cool and trendy. This is the base for Fnatic, probably the leading Western esports team and brand. I come to meet Sam Matthews, founder and owner of Fnatic, in the Bunker, their concept store where you can buy all sorts of esports related equipment as well as replica team shirts.
One of the things I wrote in the manifesto when I was 19, it was like to turn youthful enthusiasm and entrepreneurial passion at the infancy of a new world sport into a global brand. So that was kind of the mission statement back then, and one of the things which still resonates today. You know, when I think about sports, there's only really one sport which I think is truly global, and that's football. And I think for esports, there often is no barriers, so it just depends where that game is available. Games like League of Legends are pretty much global, completely global. And so I see this as the new world sport.
Fnatic have more than 50 gamers based all over the globe. I went to Berlin to see their League of Legends team in action, but most specifically star player Martin "Reckless" Larsson. Each week for most of the year, he and his teammates have a match in a TV studio on the outskirts of the German capital. The live audience may be small, but the online one is huge.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fnatic versus Misfits, it's game one. The Caps.
Usually our weeks are 6 days of playing League of Legends and 1 day of not playing League of Legends, but most of the people play League of Legends on the 7th day anyways, because it's just a hobby of ours as well, right? That's how everything started.
But look, imagine Caitlyn just flash W there.
No, she's not.
She's insta-dead. You know, the headshot does like 60% damage.
This is around the clock, and that was really smart.
Whenever people ask at home, I don't necessarily say that I'm an athlete, but I would not consider myself anything less. I think in many ways I'm just as much as an athlete as many other sports. And even though it's not socially accepted yet, I think it's just a matter of time before people open their eyes and realize that this is going on without them even knowing it.
Katowice, Poland, the Spodek Arena. Welcome to the world's biggest esports tournament. In this former mining town, thousands of people, but mainly young men, gather to watch the Intel Extreme Masters Finals, basically the Olympics of esports. The authorities in Katowice realised the potential of this new sport 5 years ago, and now it has reinvigorated the city.
Most of the people thought we are crazy. People don't understand the concept why you would compete like in a traditional sport in a video game. How would that work? For me as a player, for us as people who are from this generation who grew up with video games, it was the most normal thing on the planet. That's why we ended up in stadiums, because we always believed, you know, people have to be playing in front of a big crowd.
They are playing for a slice of esports history, because that is what
There was actually no blueprint for this. Katowice just became this unique place which you can compare to Woodstock, easily the largest esports event in the world. It's a little bit the expression of the movement, of the liberation of video games, of the acceptance of video games, and this is where people from all over the world come and celebrate this.
Prize monies are several $100,000 nowadays in one game discipline, because you have to look at that like in a classic sport. The various games, and the various games are basically the various sports disciplines.
And that's it. Shifty takes the headshot as well. What an upset. It's expert to pick up the first
We
round
broadcast now in at least 8 languages, and I'm pretty sure that again over the whole event we will reach definitely more than 10 million people. It's by nature a global audience. That's the nice thing about esports, it's inherently global. Global audience and global players.
Everyone has told me the heart and soul of esports is South Korea. This is where it originates from. This is where it is so ingrained in society that it could be seen as the national pastime. Korea has one of the fastest and most developed broadband networks in the world. Back at the turn of the millennium, the Korean government actively encouraged the setting up of a huge network of internet cafes, or PC bangs, to promote gaming. Now they are so popular that they are not just cafes, but the parks and playgrounds of South Korea. Schools increasingly saw that pupils were avoiding classes in order to play esports at the PC bangs. So one headmaster decided to take quite radical action.
좋은 학교에서 이 학교 교감으로 와서 이렇게 하다 보니까 애들이 이제 인문계 고등학교에서 공부보다는 다른 곳에 관심 있는 애들이 왔는데 쭉 하다 보니까 애들이 가장 문제되는 게 그 안에 게임이었었어요. 아예 그냥 PC방처럼 꾸며주자. 그래서 벽면에 테레비를 다 설치하고 또 선도 제일 좋은 선 깔고 또 컴퓨터 사양도 대한민국 최고가 하는 사양을 만들어서 이렇게 교실을 만들고 이제 아이들을 뽑을 때도 성적으로 안 뽑고 진짜 게임만 해서 너구너구 싸워서 지는 놈은 떨어지고 이기는 게임만 해서.
Is there anybody here who doesn't want to become a professional gamer?
규모상 프로 선수 되는 게 더 저는 규모상 뭐 굳이 하나만 해야 된다 하면 지금도 그런 형태고 지금도 프로 선수 양성하고.
The Sangam Esports Stadium in Seoul is unlike any other stadium I know. Korea's top team, SK Telecom, are playing League of Legends versus ROX Tigers. But I, like most of the spectators, are there to see one man play. Faker, known as God to his legion of adoring fans, is the world's top player and has a contract worth a cool $2.5 million.
보통 자는 시간 이외에는 최대한 연습을 하려고 하고요. 보통은 하루에 12시간이 기본이고요. 이제 좀 대회가 얼마 남지 않았다거나 좀 중요한 대회가 남았을 때는 15시간 이상 연습하기도 합니다. 게임이 건강에 안 좋은 이유는 저는 가만히 앉아서 이제 다른 운동은 좀 더 활발하게 움직일 수 있는데 앉아만 있으니까 건강이 당연히 안 좋아질 수밖에 없다고 생각을 하는데 대신에 좀 저는 뭔가 머리 쓰는 게 약간 좋아질 수 있다고 생각을 하고요.
Players like Faker are seen as heroes and role models, but there is a downside to this adulation: addiction. The National Centre for Mental Health used to deal mainly with drugs and alcohol addiction. Now it's all about gaming.
Immersive gaming without any resting is harmful to our brain. It is a definite fact. There is a case report who immersed the game without any sleeping and having a meal. So at last, he died. As a medical doctors, I think the support from the government to the patients struggling with the internet gaming is not enough.
Since 2000, gaming addiction has become the top-ranked addiction amongst young people, and 90% of the addicts are young male teenagers. That is why, in 2011, the South Korean government passed a law that forbid children under the age of 16 playing computer games from midnight to 6 a.m, the so-called Cinderella Law.
저는 이러한 그 신데렐라법이 시대착오적인 법이라고 생각을 하고 있고 줄기차게 이 법의 개정을 요구를 하고 있습니다. 왜냐하면은 근본적인 치유책이지 청소년들에게 아이들에게 게임을 부모들이 또 기성세대들이 강제적으로 못하게 이렇게 틀어막는 것은 실효성도 없고 부작용만 더 크기 때문입니다.
But it's not only addiction that esports is scared of. Cheating, corruption and drug taking are now part of the professional scene.
I think eSport has a unique opportunity to look at FIFA, IAAF, ICC and go, we don't want that. But if we don't want it, what do we want?
The gaming industry, desperate not to make the same mistakes as the old sporting world, have turned to a lawyer who specialises in sporting corruption. He is eSports' first Integrity Commissioner.
I've been accused more than once of building a highway for cars that don't yet exist. The trouble is, I know the cars are coming because I've spent 20 years looking at them. And basically, you know, what eSport appears to some extent to want to do is wait till they run over by that car and then build the road. And I'm trying to persuade them that that's not the clever thing.
So far, 22 countries have made esports an official sport. Another 24 are in the process of recognition. In Britain, we are just starting out on this esports journey. Traditional sports, or analogue sports as they like to call them in Korea, still dominate. But new evidence of change is appearing almost daily. Last month, it was announced that the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium will host live esport matches with possible crowds of 50,000. It might seem that this revolutionary new sporting world is far away, but it's not.